Lombardi Sweep. Welcome to the bye week. First round of bye weeks, and the Packers got the first one. Lucky for us, a week 5 bye. Only a month into the season, we finally escaped September, and all of a sudden, the Packers bye week is here. It's going to be a long second half of the season, but at least the vibes are high, right? We said, we at least have to build momentum, keep momentum going into the bye week because, hey, if the vibes are weird, if the vibes are bad going into a week 5 bye, that's not good news. We already got a lot working against us. Oh, the vibes aren't good. That's not good. You're not going to win every game. A loss is not good, but at least a loss isn't like the worst. Oh, we didn't lose. We tied. I wanted to blow my brains out.
That was a waste of 4 hours of my life.
Terrible. That was the most European football day of all time. We start over in Europe and we end with a tie. That shouldn't happen ever.
And you know what sucks? Like, guys didn't have great games, but that might have been Jordan Love, but Love's best game as a pro. That just got wasted. The run game.
I don't know if that's true. That's not true.
The run game finally came alive, a little bit in this one, and that got wasted. And maybe not Jordan Love, but to say like he had a fine game, right? And that
he wasn't the reason they didn't win.
My take on this, ties. I've always been staunch that I like ties because I think it's funny. It creates chaos come playoff time, but prime time should never end in a tie. You can't go to bed without a resolution.
See, here's the thing about ties. At least in Europe, it ends in something, right? A tie at least gets you a point. A tie in the NFL just gets you not a loss. So even in Europe, ties mean something compared to here, which makes it even worse.
The whole saying is you play to win the game.
Correct.
And without a loser, there is the winner. And what do you coach? What do you do if it's a tie? Because the vibes are just off because you didn't lose. So you can't hang your head too far. There's people laughing and whatever after the game. Even the vibes from like most of the people, other than maybe Matt LaFleur post game, weren't bad. Everyone's like, oh yeah, well, it felt like a preseason scrimmage. It felt like it did not matter whatsoever. This is the Cowboys. This is the first time we've never won in that building. Thank God we've never lost in that building still. But even still, it just feels like
It is.
Neither of these teams are very good.
Did you guys see this? Since the NFL instituted overtime in 1974, the Packers have 7 ties, leads the NFL. And the last 3 ties have been scorigamis, which is kind of fun. 40-40, 29-29, 26-26.
Well, sure.
Which I imagine a lot of ties are scorigamis. But that's fun. Because like 26, 29, and 40 are not football scores.
Also, now the record is 300-0-1 for home teams who don't turn the ball over and score 40 points. That's disgusting.
It's kind of funny.
Yeah, it was predictable, right? Like once the Packers got the ball in overtime.
Oh, I disagree.
I knew damn well they weren't winning the game, and I knew damn well they just kick a field goal.
I mean, they played for a field goal. They didn't play for a touchdown. That's the issue. There was a lot of game management issues. Obviously, everyone's focused on that final play where Jordan Love almost threw the game away, which he doesn't. By the way, after that happened and people are asking him like, hey, do you actually understand what's going on at this current moment? He really deflected everything. Like it felt like he was like, what do you guys, it felt like Jair Alexander after saying, yeah, I went out for the toss. Yeah. Why wouldn't I have done that? But it's the quarterback and it's winning or losing or tying at this point. Like you can't make a decision like that at that point. Like he had no spatial awareness of whatsoever. It felt like we had Tua as our quarterback.
Right. So last week on our fantasy football show, I talked about how like players just don't know football and like Caleb Johnson not catching a kickoff. Like you can't say it as Matt LaFleur because you're the head coach. You have to take blame for everything. But for him to take the blame on that communication is fucking crazy. Jordan Love's a quarterback. Yeah. Get everyone in place.
Right. Yeah. That wasn't on LaFleur. I think LaFleur had a lot of blame on that drive, but that wasn't LaFleur.
Correct.
There's no shot.
Even Matthew Golden's a rookie. He's played 3 games and he knew what was going on. He was, standing there like, what are we doing? Let's get everyone in place, man. And that's what we're like. We bring it up like however long since Jordan Love's been the starting quarterback. And I hate to rag on Jordan Love, but we're getting to a point where, it's great that he doesn't have this, he's not he never gets too high, never gets too low. He doesn't
exactly.
There's no leadership. There's no Aaron Rodgers saying, fuck you, get in place, and let's run the damn ball. That just doesn't happen, we're in year 3 of Love now. We're in year 7 of LaFleur. We're in year 8 of Gutekunst. This shouldn't happen anymore, man.
That's one of my favorite things that I've said all week. Whenever someone was like, can you believe Jordan Love did this? I'm like, I understand that, but I love that he didn't get too high. He didn't get too low. Like, he was cool under pressure there. He acted like the time wasn't ticking away. I love that. Isn't that great? I thought we all loved that about him.
Yeah.
Apparently not. I love that. I love sports. I love old Wisconsin sports fans, which is a lot of Packer fans. I love that a tie to the Cowboys is what finally divided the fan base about Matt LaFleur and Brian Gutekunst. People kept giving them slack, excuses, time after time. Jordan Love's fine. It doesn't matter. And then we tied to the Cowboys. It's like, I told you so. Everyone's like, I knew this wasn't it. These guys stink. And we had to watch Aaron Rodgers win in Europe to start the day. Terrible. Can't have this.
And Jeff Hafley didn't look good either. Like, I saw the stat that, the Cowboys were 4-11 on third down. The Packers were 10 for 14. But the Cowboys had 5 first downs, 10 to 3/4. Like, the problem isn't even getting them off the field. You can't even get to third down, man. Like, they don't have, again, they're a good offense. We talked about it. They don't have CeeDee Lamb. How can you not at least get them to third down? If you give them to third down and they're 10 for 14, that's an issue. But it's not as big of an issue as not getting them to third fucking down. How do you not do that?
Yeah, we said before the game, I guess Luke wasn't on the show, and I think it's interesting that we all sort of was like, hey, close game. Luke thought it was Cowboys. We thought it was Packers, and we were kind of just dancing around the actual outcome. But we basically said, like, hey, Packers need to get a pass rush. Otherwise, George Pickens is going to destroy us. And that was the other thing that people took away from this game. Hey, I think our cornerbacks aren't very good. And really, are you sure? That's crazy. Yeah, George Pickens went insane. 2 sacks by both teams on the night. And the one for the Packers, I would say, was not a sack. It was a sack for 0 yards at the very end. And that was not a sack. But like, the pressure wasn't there on Dak Prescott. We finally faced an offensive line that was cohesive and knew what they were doing, even with Guyton leaving the game and getting hurt. Like, that needs to be better, because honestly, we know this Packers defense is nothing without a pass rush. That's the point. That's why you go get Micah Parsons. And Micah played great in the game. Again, he had back issues that continue to show itself more and more each week, which is extremely alarming with a week 5 bye. However, when he's on the field, I mean, he's unblockable. So if he's unblockable, at least one other person has to win.
Yeah. It's been a long time, I guess, since, probably, 3-4 years since, like, Aaron Rodgers is in the MVP year. Packers have not had the best player on the field in a very long time. And now they do again, which is very fun to watch.
True. That is true. But yeah, so it's a weird game. Obviously, there was the blocked PAT. The return was probably worse than the block. It's getting hot around Rich Bisaccia at the moment. I still think it's insane to think he shouldn't be there. However, maybe we do a drill, in practice. Well, again, I don't think this is his issue either. The issue is the Packers don't go live at practice.
Yeah.
Like, at some point you got to hit each other. At some point you got to see like real looks, and the Packers don't really like to do that. So when that is the case, it's hard to adjust to NFL speed when you don't see NFL speed. It just is what it is.
Yeah, I mean, it's so funny how this is snowballed, right? After 2 weeks, we had no problems at all. Our team was perfect. Our team was going to win the Super Bowl. And then the offense does bad, but it comes back to Rich Bisaccia. Then we play the Cowboys without CeeDee Lamb, who averaged 6.5 yards per play, commit 11 penalties, go to the red zone less than us, are 4 for 11 on third downs, and we still give up 40 points. And again, we're going to Bisaccia. Like, what are we talking about here? Like when you see players like Matthew Golden, love Matthew Golden, but when you see him trying to do a spin move and then getting his shit rocked, it's like, oh
He's
yeah,
lucky he got up.
Yeah, it's like, oh yeah, that's on Bisaccia. Yeah, special teams, man. Like when your players are doing that, your players aren't blocking people off the edge. Like, oh, come on. Like again, special teams wasn't even a top 2 problem today or that game.
Yeah, and just to continue to add on this point of like people just don't know how to play football anymore. Maybe it's a bias because I've been a long time from a special teams guy. Luke Musgrave, like on a field goal, you always block in. Like not once has anyone ever told you block out on a field goal.
No, that's middle school. You step in. That's the first thing. That's the only thing, honestly.
That's the only thing you have to do as the end on a kick.
Yeah, the whole point about PAT, field goal block, whatever, the whole concept is to die slowly. Right. You step in and you put yourself in the way of the moving train, and that's all you're supposed to do. If you do anything else, it's I don't know, like it's just low football IQ. Musgrave's insane. That really shocks me because he's from a football family. Like he knows football. It's just he wasn't disciplined in that moment. I guess I don't know. Maybe the guy said something to him and he got baited out. You know, who knows what happened.
And to be honest, with the year 8 of Gutekunst, year 7 of LaFleur, year 3 of Jordan Love, we're still talking about mental mistakes. We're still talking about penalties.
Yeah.
There's these things that it feels like they changed and nothing ever changes. I don't know if again, it's probably your practice. You're not running live. You're running 2-hand touch walkthroughs. It feels like all week, and then you get into situations like, how could you possibly make that error? Oh, maybe because we don't practice.
Well, there's no adult in the room either. Rich Bisaccia is the only adult, so it starts with the staff, but then there's no leader in the position groups. Receivers, offensive. There really isn't a true leader in the position group. Green Bay continues to ship them out. It's a trickle down effect. So we have the youngest team in the league. We can't be surprised that we're playing undisciplined football. Like you can't have your cake and eat it too. It's so stupid. Bring in some guys to like show people the right way. The whole point of having a veteran backup at quarterback is that like they're going to teach them how to do watch tape, how they do this, how they prepare for the week, how you can talk to your teammates, how you can put people in their place, how you can do all of these things. And I will say, Aaron Rodgers is obviously he puts people in his place. He chews people's asses out. Towards his end in Green Bay, he checked out a little bit too. So Jordan Love did not get the best Aaron Rodgers either to like learn from. But even still, I feel like if you tell Jordan Love something, it's a fucking brick wall. Like there's nothing behind the eyes. I don't think he can lead. I hate the things that have come up between the first loss and then today. People keep talking about Jordan Love's leadership. People keep saying he doesn't talk much, but when he talks, everyone shuts up and listens. That's bullshit. Like it's just not true. I can tell it's not true. It's and who's there? Who's the leader on the offense in the huddle in anything? If something needs to happen, if someone's ass needs to get chewed out on the field, I honestly I can't even tell you who it is. I think it's Elton Jenkins, but I don't know who that is.
Well, and to your point, right? If when he talks, everybody listens, then fucking talk more, man. I mean, shit. I don't care if you're quiet. The team needs a leader, and you're the guy. You're the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers, man. How are you not a leader? To say. Like that's insane to me.
Yeah, to your point, like the quarterback of the Green Bay Packers should be the most prestigious position in football. And it was. We had Favre and Rodgers both come in. And to your point, Zach, well, Rodgers getting checked out. I think that kind of happens when the GM kind of brainwashes the fan base into thinking that the greatest player in franchise history is the bad guy. But right, to your point, like you're more than just a quarterback. You're the leader of the greatest franchise in football. You have to be a guy.
Have to. There's no alpha. It's nothing. And Matt LaFleur tries to act like it. He's, soft as baby shit. There's just a lot of like, what's the term? It's imposter syndrome on this team. I feel like it's really showing itself.
I do like that LaFleur, like at least LaFleur stepping up. Now I get that's probably not resonating because he's not a Dan Campbell, he's not a Bill Belichick, he's not an Andy Reid, but at least someone's trying to do something. Maybe it doesn't
talk though.
Yeah, I get it.
Because these guys should have known that. I guess I should have said that more. Oh, they don't know these obvious things, which fully understand. his frustration where it's like, I didn't think I had to say that shit.
Yeah.
But again, it goes back to youngest team in the NFL with no on-field leaders, and there's nobody who's holding people's ass to the fire other than Bisaccia. And now Bisaccia's getting thrown under the fucking bus, and now he has to watch his back. So all of a sudden, there's no trust, there's no alpha, there's no accountability, and this is where people start to step up. And it's going to be weird people on the Packers who step up. It's not going to be Jordan Love.
John Fitzpatrick.
Honestly, it might be somebody like Fitzpatrick. Who knows? Defensively, I feel like it could be like a couple of those corners, like who
Quay
really
Walker.
actually. No. Quay Walker will like start doing races for fucking camaraderie or something, but I don't know. I don't know. It's weird.
Again, I hate to keep bagging on him. I like LaFleur. I think he's a good NFL mind. I don't necessarily know that he's a leader of a football team. If it comes to a point where he's gone in a year or two, I would give anything to get John Gruden as the coach of the Green Bay Packers, man.
Bring him back full circle. I would love that. Last thing I'll say before we just kind of do a reflective look and maybe a preview of what comes next. I love Micah Parsons.
Yes.
Great player. Obviously the best player on the Packers. It's not really, there's no second, right? There's no close second. In terms of building a locker room, how do we have he's the biggest superstar in the league who's not a leader. And then Jordan Love's the leader of the offense and he's not a leader. Like, how do we trade for a superstar who doesn't really command the room or wants to command the room or is a leader or is anything other than sort of a nuisance and honestly kind of a irritant in the locker room? Like, I understand you have to make that trade for Micah. I'm not saying that was a bad trade, but
I get your point.
Like, how do you not build the roster around it knowing that?
And maybe that's in the future. Maybe it's let's get the guy now and build next year.
Well, I mean, I'll continue to say I think the Packers are built for a run next year.
Zach,
but every time Gutekunst talks, every time he says a decision or he makes a decision, he says it's for 2 to 3 years down the line. So
Zach,
he continues to tread water.
Built for a run next year since they got hot in 2010.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. But they're not telling us that, though. That's the whole thing. We keep saying we're all in every year, and we need to stop fucking doing that. Because at some point, if we're all in every year and we keep not executing, then it doesn't feel real anymore. And people are going through the motions. It's like, okay, yeah, we're going to be competitive, but we know it's going to happen when it comes December, January. We're just going to fizzle out. Like, at some point, we got to be like, yeah, we're adding pieces. And the next year we go. But it's been Super Bowl or bust for all three of Jordan Love's years somehow.
Yeah.
You know who? Oh, go ahead, Luke.
It just brings me back to my original point, right? Like I've said, I'm not the biggest fan of Brian Gutekunst. I think he could have done some other things a little bit differently. But in the past 3 seasons, right, he's brought in a Josh Jacobs, he's brought in a Xavier McKinney, he's brought in a Micah Parsons. But again, it's great that they're the youngest team in the league. But when does that become, we're actually a good young team where we're not committing 12 penalties a game, where we're not, Keyshawn Nixon is not giving up on plays in the late fourth quarter to give Dallas, a first and goal from the 8-yard line. When do these mental mistakes stop? Like, grading good players are great, but as a whole, and this kind of wraps up everything, where's the leader that says, what the hell are you guys doing?
But even still, usually you spend money in free agency for those people who put you over the top, right? Like, you build a good team, then you pay for the person who's going to get you over the hump. So the Packers aren't cultivating leaders on their team. So you would think you spend money to bring in that leader. And we bring in a running back. Nope, that's not a leader. Never will be. You bring in a cornerbacks, not leaders. You bring in D-backs, not leaders. Like, at some point, pay up for the stud linebacker, pay up for the stud offensive lineman, the stud quarterback, whatever, the true leaders on the team. And then you go, because you need culture setters. And at some point, the culture that you're trying to establish runs stale. And I'm telling you, if the Packers finish with the record I initially predicted, which was, I think, missing the playoffs, like one being one out probably, I don't know how you bounce back from that.
Yeah.
And now take out this is something I just thought of, and Luke will probably be able to speak to it better. Take out the lack of leader, right? And take out the coach or the manager. Can somebody tell me how this Packers team operates any differently than the Milwaukee Brewers every year? And the Milwaukee Brewers are a small market team, like you talked about. They don't go out, they're not spending money in free agency. They're always looking for the future. They just bring up young guys. Like I'm not saying that being like the Brewers is bad, but you're kind of running the most storied NFL franchise in history as a small market MLB team relying on rookies. Like that's not what the fuck are you gonna win with that?
Yeah, I might be taking a little bit of a reach here, and maybe it's true, maybe it's not. Playing with the Packers, like that's if we're talking about the 32 NFL teams, playing with the Packers is as big of a prestigious position as you can be, right? There's expectations in Green Bay that there's the Lombardi expectations, there's the Lambeau expectations, there's the Holmgren, there's even the McCarthy expectations, right? They all won championships, they all won Super Bowls, and whether it's fair or not, like these guys kind of get ripped at times when they shouldn't be ripped, and they kind of get praised at times when they don't get praised. I think I agree in Green Bay. There's a lot of people that know football. I think there's a lot of people that don't know football too, and I think some of the people that don't know football are in charge of telling the people who know football about football, and I think that's a kind of an issue too. Like I bag on Chicago media all the time. That's why the Bears are like absolutely horrible. One bad game out of a quarterback, and their media is calling for his head. I think there's a little bit of that in Green Bay too, and I don't think that gets talked about enough.
I mean, outside of this show, probably not.
Right.
I thought you were going to go a different direction, but yeah, I'm fully on board saying this is my words, not anybody else's on the show. Packers media are fucking doofuses, and a lot of them are like New York pretty boy losers as well. Like they don't represent the city, the organization, and they don't know football. So I hate that. However, the other way you could go, and you're not wrong with the media about non-football people making football decisions. That's the owner. That's the board. Like that's it. That's why the Packers are set up in the most unique way in the NFL to not make football decisions. It is what it is. So,
I get that. It's a fun concept. I think it's a great concept. You know, all the city owns the team, whatever. But at some point, like someone's got to say yes or no to things.
Do you remember the fan-controlled football league?
Yeah, I loved it.
Awesome.
Great idea. It's not around anymore because you have a bunch of non-football people trying to have control over a football team. Doesn't work. And the Packers aren't competing against, the fucking 1970 Bears anymore. Like there's real NFL teams around. People actually pay people on their staff now to win Super Bowls and compete.
I have
time to update. Look at the Bengals. If you think the Bengals are bad and poorly run, and you're a Packers fan, you're not different whatsoever. We've had a quarterback. That's it.
Yeah, I have one more thing, kind of a good note, I guess, from the game to talk about here.
Sure.
I've said this before. All three of us have said this before on the 4 or 5 years we've been together. Packers draft first round receiver, awesome. We have all these Jaden Reed, we have all these receivers, we have these tight ends. So who's the number one guy? Who's the number one guy? Guys, it's always been Romeo Doubs. I mean, I don't know how many times we have to say it. He's the guy in this offense. We saw, Jordan Love threw 3 touchdown passes to him. Again, wasted Romeo Doubs' best game as a pro. But, we came in, like, Matthew Golden can be the guy. And maybe this is more fantasy football talk, but Romeo Doubs has always been the guy. He's always going to be the guy. As long as Romeo Doubs is in Green Bay, he is Jordan Love's number one guy.
And he's more, like, with it mentally. You can just tell he's just a different person. I don't know what happened next year. I don't want to talk about it. Don't want to say anything about it, but it's great seeing him fired up this year. I love it.
To that point, I think I saw him smile for the first time in like 3 years. So
true, and it's a scary thing when he smiles. It's a little freaky.
Yep, it's Kawhi laughing.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the exact same thing actually. Dobbs is the most skilled receiver. We continue to say it. It's just he's not the most athletic. He struggles to create separation. They're using him in better ways this year. And hopefully that doesn't completely pull a 180 when like Christian Watson's back and people like that. Like, let's just keep him as the outside guy. He can beat his guy off the line of scrimmage. He can create a little bit of separation like that. If it's downfield speed, he doesn't have it, but he can adjust in the air. He can track the ball better than pretty much anybody in the NFL.
There's
yeah, he's a great compliment to somebody like Golden.
Yeah, and there's something poetic too about like he's a guy, you know, he's not going to get up in guys' faces. He can get up, be all pissed off, and go and box guys out, make the catch. Something poetic about him wearing number 87. That feels like 2000s football, doesn't it?
It does. It does. He's a solid player. So yeah, I don't know how much more you could feature him, but he's great. Tucker Kraft, if we can improve the offensive line and just use him as a receiver, that would be great. I will say, yes, the Cowboys' defensive line is one of the worst we've played so far, but the Packers' offensive line played their best game so far. Obviously, we saw that with running the football, but then also, again, 1 sack. That's not too bad. So, yeah, they need to build off of that. They need to get healthier, obviously. I would expect Zach Tom back in week 6. Aaron Banks hopefully is not back ever again, but I think he will be. And then, the rest of the team is fine. They need to figure out left tackle still. But, they're not going to. It just sort of is what it is at the current moment. You can manufacture something, or if Zach Tom can come back healthy and, for the most part, we're not going to be playing elite edge rushers every single week. You can have a tight end on that side. Like, just help out that left side, please.
Yep.
Okay, so really quick. So Packers obviously are now 2-1-1. That doesn't feel great, but it is what it is. We are third in the division.
Oh, third.
Yes?
Third in the North?
Yeah, sure. Probably third. I don't know. Does it matter? Are the Vikings technically second? Are the Bears technically second? It doesn't matter. Do we respect either of them?
No, I can't wait when do we play the Bears? Because I want to get on my the Bears fucking suck thing that I do every year.
The Bears are coming. We got both games late in the season, both matchups in 3 weeks, December 7th and December 20th.
Okay.
Let it be known, Luke, that a lot of my friends and my dad think that your Bears still suck soapbox is one of the best bits that we have on this entire show.
Well, it should be good. It'll be just in time for the Bears to be going on a run too, I'm sure. But yeah, so we are 2-1-1 now. Week 5 bye, worst case scenario. But week 6, we are at home. We play the Bengals. We have 2 road games then, Cardinals and Steelers. We then have 2 home games, Panthers and Eagles. We go to the Giants, home Vikings, to Detroit. Then we kind of have this gauntlet at the end of the season. We got home Chicago, at Denver, at Chicago, home Baltimore, at Minnesota. So if we can survive Philadelphia, we could probably beat the Giants, and then it is tough. The only non-divisional games are Broncos and Ravens. So good luck.
Cincinnati's big game. Coming out of the bye.
Yeah.
I think that really right. We saw, and Packers aren't gonna agree, right? We don't care about what the fan. Well, we care about what the fan thinks, but we don't care about the outside noise, right? We go out there and play football. In terms of fan perception, we've had 2. We're going to the Super Bowl after 2 games to fire everybody after the next 2 weeks. Even though whatever. That Cincinnati game, win, we're great, blowout, back, Super Bowl back on, win by 7. All right, well, they're not feeling great, but hey, at least we're all right. Lose, this season's over. That's what this game is, the Cincinnati game.
Yeah, it's must win. Before I wasn't excited because we get an extra week to prepare for the non-Joe Burrow Bengals, but yeah, absolute must win. Thank God the Bengals are playing this week. We need something to feel good about. We need something to build off of. And then after that, you can beat the Cardinals.
Yep.
And then Steelers could be tough. You can beat the Panthers. So if we can go 3-1 over the next 4 games, that's great. Vibes will be much, much better.
Yep.
Can't have a blowout. Can't get embarrassed.
You can't lose to another bad team again.
No, there aren't many left, so we can't be just throwing those games away. That's the issue. Also 2 indoor games the rest of the way. Arizona's indoor, but who cares?
Yeah, whatever.
It's only 2 indoor games, so it's going to be a lot of outside football too.
Good.
Yeah, which I would say is good.
Good.
Anything else to talk about? Oh, I got betting odds. Packers are still 4th in the betting odds to win the Super Bowl. Can you believe it? It's a very, 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 very distant between second and third place now. We got Bills at plus 430, Eagles plus 600, Lions at plus 900, and then Packers and Chiefs are tied at plus 950.
That's kind of crazy that the Packers are tied with the Chiefs.
Yeah, I would say so. It's only because they were the most bet team, so now there's going to be people doubling down now that they got better odds. Packers are also now no longer favored to win the division for the first time this season. So is what it is. I wonder if they have, what would you think their odds are to make the playoffs?
I would guess it's probably, I would say it's close to even.
Okay, Trevor?
I would say tie makes it tough. Plus 105.
I might even say minus odds if they're fourth to win the Super Bowl.
Yeah, minus 470 to make the playoffs.
Jesus. I'm betting against that every day of the week. Holy shit.
Yeah, if you can find a book that gives you to miss the playoffs, it's worth something. How do you lose to the Browns, tie the Cowboys, and then be, what are they? Second favorite in the NFC.
I mean,
they have better odds than the Lions to make the playoffs.
Yeah, just as it's been for the last 25 years. It's one good player covering up a lot of weaknesses.
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, there you have it. So next week we'll be preparing for the Bengals. Maybe we'll spend the bye week. I'll try to find some clips or something we can break down as well for film. That could be fun.
Yeah.
Luke, you seem like you had something to say.
Yeah, I've been drinking coffee. I don't know if we did this on Fantasy Football Show or this show, but it's kind of like a running gag now. I feel like on all of our shows. But I'm 2 days into straight black coffee.
Okay. How are we feeling? How are we feeling? There we go. And how are we acclimating to it?
So yesterday was the first coffee I drank in like 15 years, straight black. I went home and I threw up.
It's like trying chew for the first time.
Yep. And then today I had it again, and because I want to see if it's a science experiment, right? Am I going to throw up again? I didn't throw up.
Yep.
I didn't feel great, but I didn't throw up. So.
Okay.
I think we're going to get to a situation where I'm going to be sick of drinking black coffee because the taste is horrible. But I'm going to keep doing it until my body likes it.
Where are you getting it?
The first place, I don't want to say the name because it's a local place.
Okay.
But then today I got it at Starbucks.
Okay. Okay. Do you think you puked because it was too acidic, or do you think it was just gross?
I also didn't eat anything all day, so maybe that had something to do with it. But again, I did the same thing today. Didn't eat all day and had coffee, and I didn't throw up.
Okay.
So maybe I think it was just kind of things go rough when you try something for the first time. So I'm chalking it up to that. Okay.
So interesting question by Randy. Maybe we'll get into that in a second. If it is an acidic thing, and you're not going to want to hear this because this was one of the first things you said no to, and I'm not sure why. You could drink cold brew, which gets rid. I know it gets rid of the acid. I don't know everything super well. I don't know if not hot press. There's something that's just a heated up cold brew, which would also work for you. But that's just hot coffee then, though. You need that trickle down. We need that old school drip coffee.
Yeah, we need blazing hot. It's blazing hot black coffee is so much cooler than any kind of other kind of coffee. Like that's what I want to be.
You're right.
Yeah,
you're not wrong.
I also have to figure out how to drink it faster because it's been getting cold by the time I've been finishing it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. You gotta scour your mouth. Like just above room temperature coffee is disgusting.
Yeah. So yesterday I also got a medium because I didn't know, how much it took. That maybe took like 3 hours for me to drink, and it was ice cold by the time I finished it. So that's why I went with a small today, and I was able to get it down before it got ice cold.
Okay. And we're not even doing a flavor in that hot coffee.
So I've also been told McDonald's has the best black coffee, so that's what I'm going to try tomorrow.
Okay, can I guess the age of the person who told you that?
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to go 72. No way. No way. Not a shot.
Yep.
I know the people who drink hot McDonald's coffee, and they've been retired for decades.
I'm just telling you. That's what the community's telling me.
Okay. I've heard that too. It's just, I think my grandpa told me that a couple times.
So I'll have an update.
My dad recently has said it. Like,
Yeah,
you know what? Yep, that's how my dad's aging. Like, he loves McDonald's now.
Yeah, I'll have an update on our show tomorrow.
Okay. I mean, I'm open to it. I'm fine with that. I also thought about this the other day, and I'm not sure if this came across Trevor's mind yet. So Luke is now wanting to get into coffee.
Black coffee.
He's talking about black. I'm sorry. I apologize. Do we remember that Luke worked at Dunkin' Donuts forever?
Mm-hmm. That's my first job. 14 years old.
Yeah. And you weren't like tempted at that point?
No, I was in high school. I didn't really care. You know, I could wake up and drink like 3 Mountain Dews and have nothing bad happen to my body.
Fair. That's fair.
And I think that kind of turned me off to coffee too. The whole smell of it. I still don't love the smell of coffee. I actually hate the smell of coffee.
That's crazy.
But again, trying to get into it.
How is out of all the things that I say that you say are the worst takes, how is that not the worst take you've ever heard on this show? Coffee
It's
smells
weird.
bad has to be the worst take we've had on this show.
No.
Coffee smells incredible. Everybody loves the smell of coffee.
I don't know anyone who doesn't. Yeah, it's not even like, oh yeah, it's pretty good. Everyone loves it.
No, man. I think I got traumatized from working at Dunkin' Donuts.
That's fair. I mean, I think that's possible, but boy, it's interesting. You need to get good black coffee though. So maybe if McDonald's is it for you, go ahead.
I'm going around trying everywhere I can.
Yeah, fire away. You need to get a Caribou by you. They got some good stuff.
Okay.
Favorite hot dogs.
Coney Island hot dogs in La Crosse.
Boy, did you try it when you came back?
When I worked at American Eagle in college, there was in the mall there, they had Coney Island hot dogs. I don't think it exists anymore. That was the guy I told you about. They told me never to bet on a 2-point spread in college basketball. I love hot dogs. Yeah,
I encountered him when I went the one time to Holman, where he now works at that one.
Yeah,
they were bad. They were not good.
Oh, I loved them. Maybe because I was hungry. You know, I didn't have any food in college or anything.
I love chili dogs. It was just, I mean, to be fair, they weren't even warm. Wasn't even pretending to be, good.
I also, this might be a bad take on my part, and now that I'm thinking about it, it probably is a bad take on my part. I've been called crazy for doing this. I think my favorite way to prepare a hot dog is boiling them.
What?
I get that.
No.
I get that.
No.
Is your favorite hot dog then, though, like the shitty, like as shitty as possible? Because I think that's fair as well.
So my favorite hot dog are Nathan's. So if you call those shitty, then
step above.
Yeah, my favorite hot dog is boiling Nathan's hot dog, putting it on a bun, and dousing it in mustard, in yellow mustard.
It's disgusting.
It's a different experience. I fully get that. I've craved that before, so I think that's fair.
No.
Yeah, I'm more of a brat guy than a hot dog guy, though.
Yeah, I love brats. I like hot dogs more, and that's probably a wrong take on my part too, which I agree. It's blasphemy around here. I agree with that, but I don't know. That's just how I am.
I'm not going to try to change you, other than with black coffee, I guess. You're really trying to better yourself there.
So my goal is by the end of the year to be loving black coffee, but like chugging it down every time I get it.
You're going to become a pot of guy, pot of day guy. It's just going to be crazy.
So that gives me about three months to finish, to really start liking it.
I want you to start writing down your thoughts for each place you go to, because I'm also interested. I want to give you places to go. I want you work in a school. I need you to go to the teacher, whatever that's called. I can't remember what it's called.
I'm not ready for that.
Lobby. Not yet.
Teacher's
No. Lounge. Thank you. I want you to go in there, see what they got going on.
I'm not ready for that.
I need a power ranking. No, you got it built up. Especially, you can't go in there, steal their coffee, that
correct.
You call over,
Correct. I want the people who actually like coffee to get their coffee.
Yeah. Okay. Well,
I think we're done here.
I think so too. If you have any tips for Luke on his coffee journey, please let him or us know. And come prepared next week for Luke's thoughts on coffee and preparing for the Cincinnati